palace. So let's tell you about palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out manners. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish that bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's SELHURST. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, thank and fans on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. This is the City match preview. Big game tomorrow, 2 p.m. at SELHURST Park. In a game that we're just hoping to get a point from. Before we get started, obviously, if you haven't seen it, the vlog for the Shelbourne game is out. Incredible vlog. Obviously, JC, Chairman, Dan were all out there now in Dublin. Wednesday and Thursday, so go check it out. Dan does a bit of karaoke too, so make sure you enjoy that. But we are joined with a Man City fan, Bernard Dinan. Have I pronounced that correct?
Dineen.
Apologies.
Yeah, it's sort of Irish stroke Anglo-Saxon. It's quite rare, and there's not many with two N's. There's a lot with one N, D-I-N, double-E-N. But I'm the posh one. I've got two N's, so I say I'm always posh.
No, good. We've
if a Manchester lad can be posh, that is. I don't know. Probably not with my accent, but there you go.
Could be anyone. We have put the link to the title, to Bernard's channel in the title. If you can't click it now, I'll fix it in the studio afterwards so that you could click it. Make sure you give it a sub and a like and watch the content from a Man City perspective. Right, I'm going to get this out of the way, and I said this to you earlier, because it's probably the only bit of joy I'm going to have talking about this game. That FA Cup final, obviously the first time we're facing each other since that day. Was you there and talk us through like your thoughts and emotions throughout that game?
I've not forgiven Pep, to be honest with you. I think Pep caught that one up totally, made a mess of it, simple as that. I think we beat Palace 5-2 only about a few weeks before, hadn't we, at the Etihad? And we had the ammunition there. We hadn't played well, as you know, up to last season, but we were the informed team after Christmas. We had more points than Liverpool and everything. So, yeah, Pep tweaked it a little bit. I don't ever agree with playing the second goalkeeper, even for certainly not for FA Cup finals. League Cup finals, fine. Carabao Cups, we've had enough of them. But I never agree with playing our second keeper. And of course, that was, Edison missed out. And Ortega came in. I never liked that. And Ortega's a bit nervy at Wembley. He has been a couple of times when he's played Community Shields. So I was a bit frustrated with Pep. You took your chance. I was a bit frustrated that Henderson didn't get sent off early doors, of course. So I'm not a big fan of Mr. Henderson at the moment. So after that, but hey, that's it, mate. That's the underdogs win, and most people like that. And why not? It was you enjoyed the day, and I say I've not quite forgiven Pep yet, but because the FA Cup, it's something that we've only won, I think 3 times since we sort of got the money and became as we are. And really, Pep should have won it at least another couple of times, but he's given it away at semi-final stages and things like that. So it is a competition I think we should have done better in over the last few years. And of course, you talk about the Wigans of this world. The team at the time we lost to United, lost to yourselves. We should have done better. So it's frustrating, but hey, we shouldn't be greedy. But when you've got a good team, you've got to try and make the most of it, because you don't know what's around the corner, do you? So I want to win everything, because I know one day we won't be that. We're not that good anymore. We're not going to win everything. So I'd like it all, but I bet you loved it. I bet you enjoyed it, and all credit.
No, we did. So thank you very much, by the way. Yes, you're right about Dean Henderson. We rode a lot there. We did. But on the flip side, you had the opportunity with a penalty. Granted, it would have been Turner in goal. So
you could have done with another penalty taker. We never know what he's going to do with it when he takes a penalty. Unfortunately, he gives it away, and we still miss it.
I'm glad what you said about the whole aspect of you weren't happy with Pep rotating for that, because I think for some of the bigger sides, the FA Cup has lost its magic. And I'm just hoping that a win for us has brought that magic.
But there's no excuse last season, because, usually he's looking at the Champions League, or he's looking at, we've still got a couple of Premier League fixtures, but there was no excuse last season. There's no excuse for doing what he did. You know, he didn't. It wasn't with sort of. He didn't have that problem. So it's sort of unforgivable. And after the match, I should have perhaps done this and done that. And it is annoying because he's a genius. Of course, he's a genius. But I tell you what, I do fall out of love with him sometimes when he does stupid things. Not just the FA Cup last season. I think we could have had another couple of Champions Leagues in the pot as well, on the shelf as well, if he'd done different things in the past over the last few years. And you might not get them chances again. You know, it might not happen. You know, we'll say we've not been the powerhouse we have been the last couple of years. So who knows? You know, we could do a United and not win anything significant for a long, long time again now or forever. So I do get frustrated, but hey, we're happy, of course we are. But you know, you do get greedy, and it's just human nature. You get, you know, I was there in '99 when we won the playoff final in Division 2 against Gillingham, and it was as big as for us as United doing the treble that year, because United did the treble, of course, and but for us as fans, that was just as important. It didn't matter, but suddenly when you get success, you just want to grab it. You just want a bit more of it, you know. And while you're up there, you want to grab more and more. But fantastic for you, that's for sure.
It was, and you're right about what do you call it? That sense of once you've done it once. Because we're sitting for.
Well, you got the Community Shield as well, which was
the Community Shield. We're thinking, can we get Champions League football somehow?
Yeah.
The Conference League, we should make the knockout stages. It's kind of like there's a bug. And then
you had the other thing took away from you though, didn't you? Because you had the one up, didn't you? The next one up.
Europa League. Yeah. Let's not get into that.
Well, you're doing okay, because I must admit I've been looking at the stats and the fact that you've been playing Thursday night football. You seem to have coped a lot better than a lot of teams have over the last few years. You know, English teams. You seem to be. I mean, your away form's terrific, isn't it? You're top of the league. You're top of the Premier League on away form.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Our away form's a lot better than our home form.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, you'd be happy with a draw. Obviously, I think you've drawn 4 at home in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think you would be happy. But I wouldn't put you off going for a win tomorrow, mate. When I do my little preview show, I've said, you know, it's worth a little dutching on a Palace win and a Palace draw if you're a Palace fan. I wouldn't ever be put off doing that.
We'll wait and see. Big up the dog. It says a massive game, great vlog. I'm now a beer connoisseur thanks to Dan. Yeah, I need to make sure. I'm going to call him off this. Make sure he's okay. Actually, Big of Angry Mania says Rich, there's like 2 million. There's like 1 million 2 p.m. kickoffs. I must say I'm annoyed. I understand obviously TV rights and every club's got to have their fair share, but everyone would have wanted to see Newcastle, Sunderland as well.
Yeah,
like or something Newcastle. Like I'm so annoyed that it's the same time as ours. You know, but that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
It would have been ideal for that to kick off at 2, and then you could have watched that, and us to kick off at say at 4:30, and then obviously, although travelling home obviously be a bit later for us. But I mean, as you say, it is the match that people probably, you know, outside of Newcastle and Sunderland, the neutrals want to watch, isn't it? It's such a shame, but. Yeah, so it should be feisty, a feisty encounter. Although I think ours might be a little bit feisty as well. You know, you don't mind mixing it, do you? Really?
We try our best. The episode 48-minute vlog. It was a very over 2 days.
After having said that, after Real Madrid, anything's going to be milder anyway. After the thugs of Rudiger and company, I mean, anything's got to be better than that.
100%. Big up Pat. It says pick up Harry Hill and Mr. Muscles.
I've got the collar. I haven't got my big collar.
I've said there's something about this game that makes me feel we won't lose. They've shown real resilience lately, and I get the sense they'll carry that into this match. Hopefully so. And you're saying Bernard is probably very happy Eze is gone. He used to cause them nightmares. That's true.
Well, you've still got other guys who do, mate. So I'm still, you know, the SARRs of this world and people like that. I still worry about.
SARR is touch and go, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It is. Google says 24% Palace win, 25% draw, and a 51% City win. I'll take that 24%, by the way.
Yeah, I think the odds on City are almost even, you know, about 17-20. So that just shows there's not ultra confidence in City at Palace. So usually you might see that more a 2-5 or even a 1-3, something like that. So even the bookies are sort of thinking, you're not quite sure of this City just yet.
Yeah. Are you related to Big C, Steve? Probably not.
No, we've let on, but we've never really chatted. Obviously, I watch his show and everything, but yeah, I sort of leave him. I sort of, when I do my vlogs, I don't do many live ones. I usually do history stuff as well. I do lots of history vlogs, so I do previews and stuff, but I never do live stuff. So I don't usually mix with the guys, and most of them have got the big subscriber base because they do live shows. I've got a big subscriber base, but I just do recorded things. So Big Steve, I've seen him at the ground a couple of times, but I like myself, I just keep myself to myself, really. If someone comes up and says hello, I say hello back, but I'm not a big one of mixing and mate, all right, mate, and all this sort of thing. It's not me, really. I'm quiet. If you can believe that. I'm not quiet at the game. I'm very loud, but I'm quiet when I'm with other people, when the other people are about.
Nah, fairs. But you said don't watch much TV. When you win things, you just want to win more and more and more. Durf is saying here, can we all enjoy United being below both of us? 100%.
Well, they've been below us for a long time, mate. I think it's about 12 years now since they've been above us. So we'll say another 12, 24, 36 years will do for me.
Absolutely. We're going to get into this a little bit later, actually, the specific question. Big up Bernardo, great guest, just like the other Bernardo. I'm trying to figure out which Bernardo that is, to be honest.
Bernardo Silva?
Probably is that.
I call him Bernard anyway, so.
How do you rate Sharky, and do you think he could be better than David Silva and the other legends? We'll get into that as well, because I do want to talk about the change of going from De Bruyne to your current squad. And it's a lovely Christmas tree in the background.
Yeah, well, I usually have a blank background because I put all my stuff on my own little things, but obviously I thought, I'll put my Christmas tree in the background for this one. Yes, it's not green screen, it's real.
Right, let's get into it. Talk to us through your season so far, because it's mental to say you're 2 points, obviously, as it stands before Arsenal play Wolves, 2 points behind Arsenal, considering I don't think it was the best of starts.
It was a work. You see, at the start of the season, I thought this was, many City fans would be happy with top four this season. Simple as that. We sort of wrote off the league. We thought Liverpool had, with the $500 million signings in the summer, had come back strong. We knew Arsenal would be up there, of course. Who knows what Chelsea could do? We never know what Chelsea are going to do from 1 week to the next. But yeah, we would have been happy with top four and a decent cup run, which sounds, quite low level for us. But based on the fact of what we saw last season, based on the fact that we've got a lot of new players coming in, and they take at least a season usually to settle under Pep. And Pep's into his last 2 seasons. He's only got a season and a half left in theory. I was thinking some of these purchases like Donnarumma, he was preparing for a new guy to come in because we're buying more, let's say, sort of players that another manager might do things with that perhaps Pep wouldn't. I mean, Donnarumma's not a Pep keeper. Never is. He just isn't. It's as simple as that. So we could see, well, that's a bit odd. But of course, he's only got a year and a bit left. So perhaps he's preparing City for the next guy to come in. And of course, ordinary managers, if you can call it that, would probably like a Donnarumma as the keeper. They're not, it's like when Joe Hart was there, when Pep came. We loved Joe Hart to bits, but he just wasn't a Pep keeper. He was a great shot stopper. And this, what he's done with bringing Donnarumma in, he's brought in a shot stopper. So I thought he was preparing the way for something, whether it's Vincent Kompany or whatever it is in the future. But then all of a sudden he starts to get a bit of a tune out of these guys that haven't played that much for him. And we didn't start too well, as you said. And I thought he'd be learning on the game. But the thing you've noticed is we don't change. He doesn't change many players now. So he's literally got 12 or 13 players. As long as they're fit, we'll probably start in the big game.
We're the same, but you've got a massive squad and we don't.
That's not Pep, though. That just isn't. He doesn't do that. He's never done that. He's never brought many kids through. He's not done that in his tenure. He talk to people like Phil Foden. He was a bit reluctant to play Cole Palmer too many times, stuff like that. So he's never brought the kids through. But he's also, if you like, not been frightened of making 3 or 4 changes every game. He's had the belief in his players. And I'm not saying he hasn't got belief in some of our, if you like, who will be on the subs bench tomorrow. But at the moment, he's just happy playing his strongest team. Now, physically, that can't carry on week in, week out. Real Madrid was a tough game. But I'm hoping that all that 11 that played against or started against Real Madrid will start against yourselves tomorrow. I'm hoping they'll all be fit, because next week we've got a Carabao Cup game, which you can swap 10 players and still have a reasonable team out. Cocked up against Bayer Leverkusen 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it's on paper a good team to play Brentford in the Carabao Cup. So I'm hoping, but this is the problem. I think they said he's named 5 unchanged teams this season. And in all the 6 years previously, he'd only done it 5 times. So he's only, he's equaled for the last 6 seasons in unchanged teams, and he's happy with what he's got. As I said, his tactics are slightly different. We don't have Rodri at the moment, who's still injured. He's on the cusp, if you like. He keeps coming back, getting some other injury and dropping out again. So it's a work in progress for Pep, and he's just playing safe. And this isn't usually the Pep we see, but at the moment, it's working. It is working. We're picking the points up, but I tell you what, we're riding our luck in a few games as well. We're not. We're sort of giving up a lot of control. We're not got the control of some games. At least a half of each game, the opponents are at us. Donnarumma's either pulling us out of it, or shots are going over the bar or wide. So we are pushing our luck. If you watch the Real Madrid game the other night, that was like City's season in microcosm, where we looked pretty good at times, but other times we just look nervous wrecks at the back, and it's only for a bit of luck or a bar or anything. We could have been conceding goals. So it is a work in progress. We're quite shocked to be in second place. We'll take it, but obviously we don't need games like this tomorrow against Palace. I want to play Wolves away. I don't want to play Palace. Let me play Wolves away, please, because that's just one of those games tomorrow where I don't know what sort of team you played against Shelbourne on Thursday, whether you made a few changes to rest some of your.
We did.
I assume you did, because it obviously is slightly, no disrespect to Shelbourne, a slightly easier tie. Yeah. So, even though we got a day extra in theory, and I think did your aircraft not come home as well or something? You lost.
Yeah, so we had to fly the next day.
So that was all. That sounds good, doesn't it? But if you've rested players anyway, it's just. I don't think any game away from home in the Premier League is a cakewalk, is it? But as far as City are concerned, Palace away, as the fans are concerned, and I think Pep himself would probably admit he didn't do the press conference yesterday. He had some personal problems. He will be there tomorrow, though, so it's nothing will keep him away from the game. But it's a hell of a difficult place to go, especially when you've just been to Madrid and come back and been in quite a physical game as well, because Palace are not behind the door. The big lads, set pieces, we're going to have to be at it.
Yeah. I mean, just on that, from our point of view, like I said, we've only got 1 point after a European game. So our record after European games, it's tough because we tire after like 60 minutes. With regards to the Shelbourne game, we made changes, but a lot of them were kind of like forced. So Mateta didn't travel because there was a knee niggle. He should be back. Yeah. So Daniel Munoz is out for 6 weeks. He's undergoing knee surgery. The one question mark, and I don't think he'll start, and you mentioned him earlier, is Ismaila Sarr. There's a possibility he could be back in the squad tomorrow. I don't think he will start, to be honest. I won't be surprised if he's not in the squad. Bear in mind, he's going to AFCON Monday, I believe it is, with Senegal. So, we'll have to wait and see. Let's talk a little bit of Phil Foden, because I feel like he's had a bit more of an not emergence, because he's always been a good player, but last year he just didn't seem like he was at it. But this year he's really shining through. And I must say, that assist for Eze in the England international was outstanding. Like, if he doesn't pass that 5-yard pole, like, Eze is not burying that top corner. Now, but like, what's gone right?
That caused ruptions, didn't it? Everyone was saying, give guys. I mean, it's England. You're playing for it. Don't get all your club bias for these sort of things. You just appreciate a good move. I watch England. I'm not fully invested in England. I watch England. City players, if City players are playing, but if England get beat, it doesn't worry me, because obviously I'm focused on my club team. I'm not really that bothered about England. But as you say, just stick up for the lads, whoever's playing. Having said that, it doesn't stop me slagging Bellingham off and things like that. After the other night, I'm quite right to slag Bellingham off, I think, in all fairness. But there you go. It's but Foden, as you say, you did mention Foden last year. yeah, we weren't playing well. But Foden, he's one of these lads who you can tell has personal problems, things happening behind the scenes. And of course, it affects certain players. So certain players seem to coast through it, don't get any personal problems. You know, they seem to be all hunky dory. The KDBs of this world, I don't think ever had any home problems or personal problems. But I think Phil's has a bit more. He gets a bit of stick as well. I think I've seen him in incidents in nightclubs and stuff like this. Well, last year he just wasn't at it. He'll admit it himself. Pep admitted it, he wasn't at it. But this season we're seeing more of the Phil that we expected from 2 or 3 seasons ago, where now KDB's gone, of course, he's taking on that responsibility as well. So he's able to do that, and he's absolutely, and the players around him, people like Cherky and stuff, are actually finding him in that space where he can do, because he does virtually the same thing every time. He just he does a bit. I think Sterling used to be quite good at it, where he sort of takes the ball in his stride and moves it gently across.
Yeah.
Creates that yard or two of space to actually do something with. His shooting was woeful last season. I mean, some of his, I don't think he hit the target hardly ever last season. But of course, as you said, this assist-wise and player-wise, and I'm really glad he does okay for England, because he's got a bit of stick for England recently. And yeah, he's a bit back to form. Let's put it this way. He'll have odd quiet games. He wasn't overly busy for Real Madrid. He wasn't overly involved. But other players are stepping up now. Last season, people like Phil Foden didn't perform. There's no one really stepping up to take his place. That was a problem. But this season, obviously, we're finding guys to sort of take up the slack if Phil's having a quieter game. But he's always there. So, you know, there's always a possibility. Like KDB, he can have a quiet game, but just that split second, he can turn and create something or score a goal himself.
Speaking of scoring, you've got an absolute cyborg up top. I mean, what's he on that? 50-something goals already, like, or something mad.
I mean, Champions League, 55 in 54 games or something still like that. Obviously, he's gone off the boil, though. I mean, he's not scored many recently. He's only, I think,
has he not?
The last 20 goals, he's only scored 5 of them. We scored
only
15, only 5. Yeah, so I call him a big lummox. That's my name. That's my little name for him, our big lummox. Because sometimes I tell you what he has done though. This year is his overall play, his build-up play is playing for the team, coming back defensively. You'll see him back for corners. You'll see him back for free kicks, and he's 50% of the time he's the one heading the ball out. So he does do that. So that's an improvement. So when he isn't scoring or doing the things, he's also working pretty hard, because some games he can have 10 or 12 touches in a game. You know,
I was going to answer, yeah.
And he's certainly not knocking the hat tricks in. I mean, last season he went a whole season without a hat trick, which he was getting them for fun when he joined us. So he's had a couple of chances where he's had a couple of goals and he should have really scored a hat trick. But yeah, I think he needs 3 chances to score 1. So if you can keep him to 2, you'll be all right.
Max, Mark, Chris, I hope you're listening.
That lad at the back, you like him. How do you pronounce? I never know how you pronounce it.
Gary.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think the fact he got his head turned over the summer and he's played so well, I believe, this season. He's done really well, hasn't he? He's knuckled down and got on with it. I've heard that he might be on his way in January. I don't know how true that is. But I think he's, you know, at least he's done it. Some players who are not upset wouldn't perform like that, would they? They sort of down tools a little bit, but that shows a lot of character.
A certain Liverpool right winger, you mean?
Yeah, something like that. I think they're all right now, haven't they? I think kissed and made up now, haven't they? I think they're all kissed and made up now, so they're fine. They'll be back. They won today, so they'll be back for the title soon.
Absolutely. You mentioned KDB as well. Obviously, massive legend for you. Do you think that, and this is kind of linking back to the whole Foden situation, do you think it's like, oh my gosh, we actually miss him? Or do you think you just take a bit of time to? Yeah,
you have to miss him, mate, don't you? You lose play. I mean, I'm sure as your guy, I mean, you're gonna miss guys like that. They can turn a game, can't they? It's as simple as that. KDB was a legend. You can't ever replace him. In the same way when Fernandinho was the DM and Rodri looked as though he wouldn't replace him in a million years. He was nothing like him. It took him 2.5, 3 years to sort of put his own stamp on it, because he wasn't Fernandinho. He was a totally different player, And people say, how can you replace KDB? Well, you can't replace KDB. All you do is get another player. You hope people like Cherky, who's performing some nice little routines. I mean, KDB didn't do that sort of thing. We don't really have anyone to do the KDB stuff from distance to shots and stuff like that. Phil Foden's the closest, but we don't really have anyone in that mode. But you just have to switch around, don't you, mate? You have to alter your tactics slightly. As I said, Pep's altered his tactics. He's not worried about giving the ball up a little bit more to the opposition. He's got more faith that his goalkeeper can pull us out of the mire if need be, if we're under the cosh, because he is a big game player, Donnarumma. He'll make those saves that perhaps Ederson couldn't. But we do lack a little bit, of course, in ball play then. We do lack that little bit of calmness, getting the ball up the pitch and keeping the ball. So it means it keeps coming back to us a bit more than perhaps it has done previous seasons. It keeps coming. So sometimes it's backs to the wall, as it was against Madrid at times. And if you look back early in the season when we played Arsenal at their place, we totally dominated in the first half. In the second half, we just couldn't get it out. We just couldn't get it away from our goal. And we almost grabbed the win. But yeah, it's back to the wall, and we need a little bit of luck at those stages. And sometimes we get it, and sometimes you don't.
No, that's fair. That is fair.
Like Fulham, you think of Fulham. You beat them the other day, didn't you? You beat Fulham
2-1.
I mean, if you look at their 4 goals against us, it was a 0.9 xG. They scored 4 goals, so they were cracking goals. I mean, you just wouldn't, So we're not saying, oh, flipping heck, we collapse. It's just they were superb goals. I mean, if you have an XG of 0.90 and you score 4 goals, there's got to be special. And they could have gone anywhere, but fortunately, they went in the net.
Yeah, I think that's what we might have to do tomorrow, just take long shots.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have time. Every team who's played City this season, even Wolves that we played the very first game of the season, and we thought, we're going to be champions here. We didn't realise how bad they were. We beat them 4-0 at their place, and we battered them. But even they had moments in the game. And that's the thing with City. We do give teams moments now. We don't have that control that perhaps Pep had 3 or 4 seasons ago when we were doing the trebles and stuff like that. We just need that sort of control, and teams would have to take the chances, 1 or 2 or 3 a game that they might get. But now teams are getting more chances. So as long as your guys are up for it, you've got a chance of. I'll predict a score for you later, but I've come up with an interesting scoreline for tomorrow. But you will get more chances. You certainly will get more chances against this Pep City than you probably would have done against early Pep City teams.
No, that's fair. There was a comment about Shirky. How do you rate Shirky, and do you think he can be better than David Silva and other legends? David Silva's made a push, because David Silva was unreal and stuff. But
I love his passion. He's got great passion. He's got a lovely touch, of course. He's clever.
Did he get in trouble?
You nutmeg Rodrigo, you can nutmeg Bellingham and stuff like this. It's great stuff. It's lovely to watch. I mean, David Silva was a legend. I mean, Turkey has to do another 7 or 8 years yet to get anywhere near, but I'm sure he will. But is that him and Reinders are interesting players? It's give us totally different options. Reinders talk to what Turkey does. Of course, Reinders got off to a flying start, and he's sort of plummeted, sort of thing. He's levelled off a bit now. He's doing a lot better. But as I said, they need 12 months under Pep, and these guys haven't had that sort of time yet. So I'm hopeful for Turkey, and it looks good so far. But it's far too early to make any sort of comparisons to what's going to happen long term.
Did he get in trouble for that Rabona assist?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think. He might have privately. We've not seen anything. There was no hint. Pep's usually quite, what's the word? You can tell from his body language about things. And I think he was fine with it. Some guys were trying to say, well, he couldn't have crossed it with his normal left foot anyway. And I thought, why? Someone said he was off balance, so he had to do that. I said, he just did it.
He did it himself, yeah. It's great skill, by the way.
I think Pep's, as long as we put it this way, we haven't won. Then Pep might not have been as happy, but I think he's happy in himself. Pep, he's a lot happier this season than he was last season. As I say, I think he's more or less made his mind up what he's doing at the club. As I say, we're on the last lap now of his tenure. He seems happy in himself. Of course, he had a lot of his own personal problems last season, with his relationship problems, which, although it's not been sorted out in a positive way, but at least it's been sorted out. So he's a lot better. As I say, I'm not too sure what happened today. Some personal matters kept him out of the press conference. So, but it's nothing to stop him being at the game tomorrow. But he got himself booked in Madrid the other night. So, and I think he's one booking away from a suspension in the Premier League as well. So if you lot don't wind him up, we'll be all right tomorrow.
We'll try. We'll try not to. So, a few more comments. Pat saying, unpopular opinion this season, Hendo's better than Donnarumma. I think the only thing with Donnarumma, I think his handling's a bit.
Donnarumma is a presence. I used to be a bit of a keeper, not great. I'm obviously nowhere near the quality of Donnarumma. So I always sort of, when I do my little vlogs, talk about the goalkeepers if anything happens and what happens. And when Donnarumma came, of course, I did a big analysis of him and Trafford and what we lost with Ederson going, stuff like this. And Donnarumma is just one of those you want for your big cup games, your big Champions League games. He's going to look a bit suspect in normal league games, just the normal bread and butter. And he did that with PSG. He saved his best for the big games, where the keeper's a difference. Like Courtois is the difference between winning you a trophy and you're losing. It's as simple as that. And Donnarumma's one of those guys. But I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. But it's not perfect. He's only 26. He's only 26. He's got ages yet. He's only a young lad. He's only a nipper.
Like he's been there for ages.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I've not seen enough of Henderson to know to compare. But I must admit, I think Donnarumma's certainly top 5 in the world.
He is. He's a very, very good keeper. Right, we're going to talk about this because I think it's going to be one of the most interesting dynamics of the game. Obviously, like I said earlier, Daniel Munoz is out with knee surgery. Nathaniel Klein will be starting at right wing back tomorrow. There's a certain Jeremy Doku who is probably licking his lips right now. He's another player I think that's done a lot better. He seems a lot more decisive in this play. The trick is there, the pace is there, but sometimes his crossing or his final pass and stuff, or even just his goal contributions had to let him down. It's something. Am I right in saying that's an area he's improved in? Because he looks a lot better than
I mean, last year there's a lot of criticism of his G&A, of course. It's quite low. It is quite low now. A lot of that is because he creates a lot of good stuff, and we just don't finish it off. So I mean, a lot of his G&A would have been probably a lot better last season. His G&A would be, I'm not too sure what it is this season off the top of my head, but it'd probably been double if some of the chances he created had been put in, even by people like Haaland, who of course has still been scoring the goals, but he misses quite a few as well that you think he would score. And Doku's been improving. Now, he's one of the guys that a lot of people think he might get a rest tomorrow because he looked absolutely shattered. A lot of the team looked shattered after the Madrid game. I know you're hoping because he's got talent, but Doku's the guy who's been doing it consistently. I used to have the law of diminishing returns on wingers. I don't know if you did economics at school as I did as a young boy. It's called a lot, and like your first pint of beer is gorgeous, and then the next one you have isn't quite as good, and then the third one isn't quite as good as the second one. So it's a law of diminishing returns, it's called. And I used to say that with the wingers because when he played them both, which he tended to do at the start of the season, he played both Xavi and Doku. You always had one of them didn't quite do it to the other one. One was flying, the other one not quite so much. And Doku was usually the one who was the better of the two. Xavi was the better occasionally, but now is obviously Pep's go-to guy is Doku, and Xavi's not really getting that game. Excuse me, not really getting that game time. But Doku, vast improvement. Again, not against Real Madrid. That was a typical game of Doku's. He scared them to death, but perhaps didn't produce what he could have done when it came to the crunch. I think there's at least one good chance or two good chances he created for other players that didn't come off. But he flatters to deceive occasionally. He gets in the right places, but doesn't. And he's shooting. He scored a cracking goal 2 or 3 games ago at the Etihad from distance. But they're few and far between. I'd like to see more of that from Doku, more goal attempts. He seems to be a bit wary of having a pop from distance. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that. But yeah, he's vastly improved. He's certainly giving Savvy stuff to think about. Of course, Savvy we thought would be going to Tottenham at one stage, but that all fell through for 70 million quid. If that had been offered, which I doubt very much, I'm sure if we were offered 70 million, would have bit their hands off. Even Pep, even though he praises his players and says he's got potential. Don't forget, Savvy's I think he's only 21. He's nothing. He's no age at all, some of these players. You know, the lad at the back, Kusanov, is great potential. Kusanov, he's not getting a game. But again, he's only 21, 22. You know, for Pep, even though they could be probably playing for other teams, for City, 20, that age, they just don't get games for Pep. Pep wants a little bit more for that. Even Foden didn't play, start playing regular till he was about 23, 24, 25. You know, he was still a youngster as far as Pep was concerned, and he never risked him. So, Doku, yeah, I will hope he plays tomorrow because I think he'll be more effective than Savvy. But as I say, there is a doubt, or there's just a little thought that he was absolutely shattered after Real Madrid. But after 3 days rest, yeah, the fit lads aren't they? They should be all right. You can always take him off if
that's a good point.
Lead, and if we get 5-1 up, we might take a chance. It's not going to be like Fulham. Another Craven Cottage, another heart attack moment for us there. I missed that actually. I had a ticket for Fulham as well, but because of what's happened, I couldn't. I had to sell that one as well. I had to give that one up. So I'm glad I did actually, mate. I don't think I could have stood that. I think I would have been in hospital. I think I would be in the A&E in London, in West London there, if I had to have stood there watching that.
No, absolutely. I mean, just so you know, Doku is a Palace legend, by the way, for his 99-minute and 30-second scuff shot, which kind of just sealed it for us. And get in, thank you for shooting from there with your weaker foot.
Yeah, I told you he could improve his shooting.
Absolutely. Just to end it, you did say you had a score prediction, and we're looking forward to hearing it. Go on.
Yeah, well, I think my heart is saying we've got to win it. I think if we don't win this, it'll be so depressing. But it's not going to surprise me if we don't win it. As I said, City, we do ride our luck. If you can put your chances away, it's going to be really difficult. I think defensively, I don't think it's not going to be a 5-4, so don't worry about it. I don't think it's going to be that. But I predicted for a 3-2 City win. I've predicted 3-2 for City. But as I said, I've not put any Palace fans watching my vlog on a preview show. I did say, look, Dutch the draw and Dutch a Palace win, and if you Dutch it, you'll make money. It's as simple as that because of the odds. So if you like doing that sort of thing. But so I'm not ultra confident, but I think there'll be goals. I think Andy Morrison, who does his little tips, he's predicted 2-1 for City, I think. So I thought, yeah, there'll be a goal in it, or it'll be a draw. But I'll use my heart. I'll go for 3-2 for City. If we draw, Arsenal are going to win tonight, so it just give them, let them move a little bit more ahead, won't it? So, but. Hey, as a Palace fan, don't give up on it. There could even be a win around the corner in this. If you can bring your away form back to Selhurst, you've got a chance.
No, absolutely. Bernard, thank you so much. I mean, this has been a great chat. Great insight into obviously what.
What's your prediction? Like. What's your score prediction?
I was trying to avoid saying that, but I do believe 2-1 City. I think we will actually be okay up until maybe the latter stages, and I think fatigue might kick in. Obviously,
yeah, well, that's it. I think that's it. I think I say with the game against Madrid and your game, obviously in Ireland, and obviously doing the Thursday nights, you've done coping really well. I think City might, that fatigue might hit us as well if he does play a more or less same 11 he did in Real Madrid. I think it will definitely take its toll. So we could both be out on our feet by about 70 minutes. That'll be fun, won't it?
You just have a gentleman's handshake and take the point.
I think we're going for a draw, mate. I think let's call it a draw on that basis. We're both out on our feet. We'll let Arsenal have a 4-point lead over us. We've got to play them at ours yet. We'll get it back. It's no problem.
Yeah. As I said, the sharks are growing there. Bernard, obviously let everyone know where they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the channel, I do film and TV stuff, so I don't just call it the Citizen channel, which is my sort of football side. So everything's through that that name on the screen there, at Bernard_Dineen, because it's such a rare name. You put that in, it's only me comes up. So if you're ever looking for me on Google or looking for the YouTube or looking on X or Facebook, just look for that, and everything will pop up there for my my social media presence, if you like.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. I'll be down there at SELHURST Park tomorrow. So as per usual, if you want to come and have your say after the game, we do fan cams opposite the fan zone, so feel free to come and have a chat. And I believe Nikki will be live tomorrow with a watch along for tomorrow's game as well. So yeah, if you're not at the game, enjoy the watch along and stuff. Bernard, thank you once again for your time.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Up the Palace. Yeah.